Hello everyone, this is Sibyl, a teacher at Sibyl's channel, and welcome. So this is another impromptu video I'm doing this morning before I have to go in and start teaching later. And this was something that was on my mind, and I thought I would make a video about it. For those of you who are new to my channel, and if you haven't looked at my home page or earlier videos, I live in the United States. I am an older YouTuber. I'm 61 years old. There are some on here older than me, but I'm in the old generation group on here, older generation. Um, I am an EFL, or English as a Foreign Language teacher, and I teach online. I started out my career teaching sixth grade social studies and English to children here in the United States. And I've also taught abroad in the countries of Botswana through Peace Corps. Botswana is in Southern Africa. And I also have taught 3 times in the country of Turkey in 3 different cities. Um, I uh, I have a variety of interests, and but my channel is a sort of mixture of booktube and my own thoughts and observations, etc. Okay, history. I'm a history lover. I love books. I'm interested in different cultures. I teach people from different cultures. The majority of my students that I teach online um, are live in Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Japan, and Brazil. Okay, and I do have others. I have a couple of Japanese students that live here in the United States, and I teach other people. But the majority of my students are in these areas: Middle East, basically West Asia, just Asia, uh, Brazil. Oh, I do have one. She's sort of irregular. One student in Europe. Okay, in Western Europe. But anyway, so my late father used to say, um, "Be yourself or be by yourself." And I think what has happened, with the older generation, they used to say, uh, different proverbs or adages. And you don't hear people saying that now. They just mostly, you'll have people saying these commercialized slogans. Everything's commercialized, consumerized, and it's soulless. It's soulless. Whereas proverbs, these old adages, they have real meaning. Okay, they have real meaning. And what my father, what he would say, what it meant was, you need to be genuine, be who you are, because if you don't, people are basically going to find you out, and you're going to be alone. Okay, so don't be fake. And we live in an era where people are incredibly fake. Not everybody, but I would say the ones that have been, people that have their issues with self-worth. I'm not going to even say self-esteem, but self-worth, valuing themselves. People that have issues with identity, people with mental illnesses, people that have been traumatized, they will be more apt to have these kind of problems than somebody that, has not gone through this kind of stuff. Okay. Nobody has an easy life, but some people have better coping mechanisms than others. And some people come out of more chaotic backgrounds than others do. Okay. And like I said in my previous video on romance scams, well, it wasn't actually that. I actually said it somewhere else. Um, a lot of times, we can't shake off. People are raised as children. It has a huge impact on the rest of their life. Okay. Huge impact. But I didn't say that. This was something I wrote, not on my channel. But anyway, but yeah, we are all given, we are all different. Okay. We're different, and we have to find our place in this world. Okay. And I'm an EFL teacher. This is what I went to school for. And this is also what I love. I love teaching people. I love teaching English. I love educating people. Okay. Now, should I go out here and pretend that I'm a doctor? Now, sure, I like learning about natural remedies and things like that. But, and I've talked a couple of times about natural remedies on my channel, okay? But am I gonna, because doctors make a lot of money, they're looked up to, not all doctors, but a lot of doctors make a good bit of money, and they're looked up to. So I'm gonna pretend that I'm a doctor, okay? And I didn't go to school for this, okay? I'm gonna pretend that I'm an engineer, or I'm gonna act like I know about engineering. Um, I'm going to say I'm a scientist because science is the big thing now. They want everybody worshiping it's the altar of science now. They always direct the masses, which I don't feel a part of and I don't want to be a part of. This is what you should like. Okay. And the masses just jump on it. And so I'm going to say I'm a scientist, even though I don't even like science. Okay. I don't even like science. So I'm going to pretend that I know I'm an expert in science. I'm going to pretend that I'm some kind of guru and I don't even know what I'm doing. And at the same time, I might not even know how to live. So what I'm trying to say here, we need to be, my father was exactly right. My father, he had his issues. He came from a tough background, a dysfunctional family. I've said in the past, my dad's family was dysfunctional when a lot of other people's families weren't even dysfunctional. Now, about all you see in certain cultures are dysfunctional families. His family got hit by it, the bug, years ago. Okay. Um, Mostly because my grandfather didn't know how to live. Okay. And he liked the bottle a little bit too much. When you like your drinking, that can cause a lot of chaos, even though people, that's something people don't like you to talk about because that's what they do. But, I don't drink alcohol. I looked at how, what was going on in my father's family. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like these people. I gravitated more to how my mother's family, her side of the family was. Okay. But my father said some good stuff. My mother did too. My mother's parents, I was around my mother's parents more than I was my father's parents because number one, my father's mother died before I was born. She died like the year before my parents got married. And then my father was not close to his father because of how my grandfather was. And I only saw him a few times. But my mother's parents, I saw them every week, generally every week. And then during the summers, I might see them every day because I might go and stay with them for a couple of weeks or maybe a month. But my mother's parents were good, decent people, and they were decent, hardworking, people that were wise. My grandfather went to school like one day and quit. He never learned how to read or write. All he could do was sign his name. But my grandfather was wise. He used to say some great stuff. My grandmother was, and the old generation, they hadn't been contaminated uh by consumerism and narcissism. And you had people back then that were bad people. Always there were bad people, but it was more of a time of innocence than what you got now. Okay. And you have some societies that are more innocent than others. Okay. Every society is not the same. So I find it really interesting when people want to be like everybody else because you have societies that are different. Okay, I can't compare American society to Turkish society. It's different. There are differences. Okay, I've lived in Turkey, but I'm not Turkish. Okay, I know the culture. I know the history really good. I know a lot of places in Turkey. I mean, I talk to my students, and they are shocked. They get up, they don't read my profile. A lot of them, and they don't know that I've actually lived and worked in Turkey. Read my profile. And but I know the country very well. I started reading about Turkey before I even went there as a tourist. Because I went there as a tourist with a tour group and I had to write a paper about it. And I had to read a book. I started reading a book before I went there about the country. So I knew about the country. I started learning about it. And this started in 2003. So, but I'm not Turkish. I'm not trying to be Turkish. I know a lot about the history. I know a lot about different countries, but I am who I am. I am sincere, and I am not anybody else. Now, do I get ideas from other people? Yeah, sometimes. But I think about, is this good for me? Now, case in point, I started keeping a diary, what we call a diary, when I was 17 years old. Okay, what we now call journals, pretty much. There are different types of journals, okay, and diaries, but you hear more journal now more than diary. And I started keeping that when I was like 17 years old. I was a lonely teenager. I didn't fit in. I'm glad I didn't fit in because some of the, some of the people that fit in who I went to school with are not here anymore. Okay. Fitting in does not always work. Okay. You better know where you're fitting in, what you're fitting in with, what you're fitting in with. Okay. So I started back journaling. I journaled up until I kept the diary basically up until I started university, and then I got too busy and I couldn't keep it. And then for a while, there was another time period I started keeping a journal, sort of, and writing about. I remember I read this book, this biography of the French philosopher and author Albert Camus, and I wrote, and I just loved that book so much. It was a thick book, and I kept a journal of it. And then after that, I went periods where I just for years I didn't journal, and I started only and within the last, I blogged for a good while, and then I started, and I that was sort of journaling in a way online, and then I started back keeping a book, a journal in book form. But I ran across Booktubers on YouTube, okay, because on YouTube I'm trying to find people that channels with things that I am interested in, that I'm in common with. I'm not for all this other stuff, all this fluff. You have a lot of fluff on YouTube, but there's also good stuff on YouTube as well. So I ran across people that were into books like me. Uh, the algorithm sort of directed it to me, and I was really excited. And so I followed. I think the first booktuber I started following was the Grimm Reader. And on the Grimm Reader, she talks about books. She's a booktuber, and she also shows her journals. So I started back journaling a little bit, but I didn't know about, you could decorate your journal. So she decorated her journal. She had these beautiful journals. Just I was like, wow. So I was already journaling. It wasn't like I looked at her and said, oh, I need to start journaling, and then that's really not for me. I was already journaling, but what I did was actually enhance my journals by buying decorative stickers. And the same thing, also another one I was influenced by was Comfycozyup. She does junk journals. I don't. Comfycozyup channel. I don't do junk journals, but I just do regular journals, and I just write, and I decorate my journal. But that's it. This is what I was already doing. It wasn't something I just picked up. Oh, I should do that. It looks good, and I should do that, and not even thinking about, well, is this really me? Do I really do any journal? Like I said, I started journaling when I was 17 years old, in high school, and there is a Bible story about the talents, and basically, it's sort of like a talent in the ancient world was a coin. Okay, and God gives us all different talents, but in this life, some of us we work hard at trying to be somebody else. And I know some of us came from backgrounds that were limited. We didn't have opportunities. We didn't see very much. Um, Also, another thing that has helped me really opened up the world to me was reading. And then over the years, I've run into people, met people, had friends. I had in university, I had a really, really close friend that was German. We were like sisters. And a lot of stuff opened up to me, particularly being around foreign people from other countries. Okay. I grew up in a small southern town where the black and white people basically they just have a few things they're into. The local football teams from high school, the university team, they all just pretty much like the same thing. Um, I went to the university here, the University of Georgia, which is the oldest state university in this country. Okay, it's the oldest state university. It was founded in 1785. And there are people that live in this town never set foot in the university, just finished high school. And they are more into the football. I never went to a football game. I wasn't even interested in that. But some of them, they wear the colors, they got the mascot, everything. Never been inside the university here or any university unless they work there. And then they were not academics, okay? But they just follow what everybody else likes. If everybody is going over the cliff, They go decide, okay, it must be cool. Everybody is going in that direction. I'm going to go off the cliff. But in the story of the talents in the Bible, it makes it clear that God gives people different talents. One person was given one talent, one was given several talents. One person with the several talents, I believe it goes, he went and grew his talents. He used what he was given and increased it. The other one just buried his, okay? This is, and it came to nothing. What is shown here is that we're all given different talents, and it's up to us whether we make the best, and we're just given one, make the best of the one that you have. I'm not going to go and try to say I'm like I said, a doctor, and I'm not. I didn't go to school for that. I didn't go to medical school. I would look stupid trying to be that. I'm being who I am. And I just, so I've been thinking about this lately because I look at human behavior. I look at people that, like I said, people come from different backgrounds. And there are people that go through a lot of trauma. There are people that come from backgrounds where, impoverished backgrounds, deprived backgrounds, and they don't see they didn't see very much. They weren't exposed to a lot. And I understand it, and, I feel sympathy for them. But you have to find out where your place is. What everybody else is doing might not be the right thing for you to do. You need to find out what your talent is. It might just be one, or you might have several talents. Okay, I write, I draw. I'm not the best at art. I did not grow my talent in art. I actually, my quality of art went down from what it was when I was studying in university because I didn't practice it, but I can draw. Okay, I do have that gift. I also can write. Okay, I have the gift of teaching, but I'm not going to go out here and say I have the gift of, you know, uh, like with writing. I'm not going to go and try to write about finances, about investment. Because I don't know. I didn't study about investment. I do a little investing, but but I haven't studied in depth. It's certain things you have to sit down and read a book about. Some people also think, oh, if I listen to YouTube, if I do, yeah, YouTube is great. Start learning how to knit through YouTube. Okay. But there are certain things, because actually you can get books for knitting, but actually it's better for me with certain things. You need to see it visually, but there are certain things you have to sit down and do the hard work for it. Okay. Now, some people are lazy. We have a laziness epidemic in this world. Okay. Where people want to get something. They want to get all the benefits and don't do the work. You see a lot of that now. A lot of that. I've had Brazilian people tell me, oh, people in Brazil are lazy. They don't want to work. Okay. Same here in the United States. There are a lot of people lazy. They don't want to work. You see it all over. And then you have people that are have a sort of scammer mentality. They want to get all the benefits and pretend like they know something when they don't. And they're just a fraud. Okay. So you need to be yourself. Find out what your place is in this life. We all have a place. Your place might not be my place. Your talent is probably not my talent. Okay? But you need to find out what you were put here for. There is a reason why we are here. Okay? I don't care what certain evolutionists or scientists or whoever say. We were put here for a reason. Okay? There is a creator. We might not like it. We might want to go into all this other kind of stuff and kind of thinking, but there is a creator and we were put here and it's a test. And we were also given talents and we can fail the test or we can pass it. The average person is going to fail it because the average person is not going to do the heavy lifting of finding out who they are and why they are here and what is their purpose. They're just going to be empty vessels copying whatever floats up to them. Okay. So I'm going to end here. I want to end this video. This is just another talk. I will be getting back to books again. One of my first loves, books. I'm trying to finish up Jose Saramago's book Blindness. It's good. I was able to recheck it out, and I need to read Parker Bilal's book, The Ghost Runner. And I'm trying to narrow down the amount of books that I'm reading, from reading 7 or 8 books at a time. I want to get it to where maybe 3 or 4 at the maximum, because I've noticed that the more books that I'm reading, the slower it goes. And I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of reading. So, yeah, but I want to end here. I don't consider myself a leader. Okay. But I'm certainly not a follower. I will get ideas. Sometimes, a lot of times things just come into my mind. Um, and as a Christian person, I see it as something being the Holy Spirit. Okay. If you're not a Christian, I know you can't relate to that, but things will come into my mind, and this is how you should do it. And it works right. Okay. But I don't go and look at other people. It's very few people I look at. I'm not a copy or emulator. Okay. Whatever is the newest trend, I could care less. I could care less about it. But if it's something that will work for me, I will do it. Like I said, I teach a lot of Arab people, and something in more traditional Arab cultures is they will take things from the modern world that will work and benefit them. But they don't say, okay, we're going to change everything. Our culture is too old fashioned. We're going to become like Americans and Europeans, because it's not going to work for them. Okay. It's not even working for us. A lot of stuff. Okay. So you have to find out what your place is here. Okay. What your purpose is. And I consider myself not a leader, but I'm certainly not a follower. But I do what my mother always says, and this comes from scripture: let your light shine. Okay. I try to let my light shine. Okay. And I'm not, I don't even think about it really. I just do what I need to do. I'm here and I do what I need to do. It's not about getting pats on the back, applause, accolades. I just do what I need to do. I know who I am, and I know what my purpose is. And it's a great feeling, because it's been a long road to getting to this point, a long, agonizing road. So I'm saying this because I know this is the best way to go. So I'm going to end here. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new and something to ponder and think about. So this is Sincere. Until next time.